agnostic, things like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of expression, in whatever form that takes, are all super, super, super essential. And the fact that we're living on this earth right now, and I'm not sure if there is a hereafter, also means that the things happening to people on this earth are essential to me as well. So I really relate very strongly to the struggles and the tribulations and just all the thoughts and emotions that people have in rap music. So yeah, I was struggling to like figure out how to express these things, and then I figured rap music is actually a really good way to express many secular beliefs. Now the three rappers I'll be talking about today, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, and Chance the Rapper, all have very deep Christian values, but I see a lot of my own expressions as someone who's secular in their music. So before we get started in talking about the music specifically, I think it's worth it to have a conversation about what rap is or how you define it. So I'll just open the floor for like a minute or two. What do you think rap music is? What does it mean to you? How do you think pop culture treats it? So you can popcorn style for a second. And welcome.
I mean, I feel like I should speak right now. I don't know why, but I mean, well, I love to write poetry, and I mean, like, I know that poetry can take many different forms. But there's like, you know, like free flowing poetry, you know, where you just get up at the mic and you just speak whatever is in your heart, and I kind of see rap a little bit like that. I don't really know much about rap, honestly. I know very little about its history or about what it actually might be if you tried to form a definition of it. But with my limited knowledge and experience of it, that's kind of what I would, like, that's part of what I would think, you know, that it's made up of. Just like that. I just, like, as a somebody who likes to write poetry, I'd like to think of it that way, like, as that kind of expression.
Anyone else? But they kind of think about rap music, and it's okay if it's not positive. Trust me, I know what people think about rap music.
I think of like rap as a music genre under the umbrella of hip hop culture. So, and then of course hip hop has its own kind of music too, but it's all related and together. I know that there's like a lot of negative connotations toward rap, especially like, I feel like in my context that I come from, like familially, the way like my parents, for example, talked about rap was very negative. Although I do remember once in high school, my mom saying, "That Tupac, he sure is a poet," and I was like, "What?" She drove her little minivan. So I was just like, okay. So I think now a lot of people associate rap music with hatred for police and hatred of society. I personally don't think that's correct, although I do think there's a lot of anger in rap, what I would call righteous anger, but you know, that's up for debate, I guess. But so those are some things I think about.
Yeah, for me, I'm a very body language centric person, so for me, rap is more about the rhythms for me personally as to what I relate to. So like, if somebody was literally saying watermelon, watermelon, but to a different beat, I feel like I relate to that emotion, right? Like, I can sort of more from the way they accentuate what they're saying than sometimes the words that are actually being said. That's how I get my emotional response or my connection to understanding what the message of the music is through the rhythms that they use.
I think the cool thing about rap, when I was actually reading up on this line, that all of that is kind of true. Like, it definitely came from an emotional place, which a lot of people who are in the traditional forms of writing definitely empathize with. Emotions are rampant in different types of rap music. There's anger, there's happiness, there's sadness, there's frustration. And then the rhythm is a key part of what makes rap music rap music. So I was curious to know if anyone thought to define it. And the first actual formal definition in the Oxford Dictionary was in 1541. And they defined it as to rap is to utter sharply an oath with vigor.
I did not know that.
Utter sharply what?
To utter sharply an oath. So like to take an oath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to utter sharply an oath with vigor. So that's a fascinating definition.
That's so cool.
Specifically on this word oath.
Yeah.
So just curious, what is an oath to you? When someone like pledges or takes an oath?
Yeah, it's like a vow, it's your word.
There's usually action associated with it, so it's a word that, or something that should lead to an action.
So I thought that there's also the two keywords, sharply and with vigor. So it's something that resonates with people that they're passionate about, but it's also a vow they're taking toward action that they really want, like all this momentum behind. So that's how the Oxford Dictionary defines rap. And that's very interesting when you consider the roots